Hello, happy Friday. I hope everyone's having a great end of the week, start to the weekend. We are getting ready for our church Christmas party tonight. My husband's a pastor, and we serve a church community on the northwest side of Indianapolis, and super excited to do charcuterie and wine and all the things. This is the time of year where I would imagine money's on your mind a lot, a lot. And whether it is, closing out the year in your business, or whenever your fiscal year ends, whether it is looking forward to the new year and even just thinking about what your financial goals or what your financial trajectory is for 2022. I hope that some things that I share today will be interesting to you if you are not aware, and may even give you some direction in what it looks like to not only make money, which we all need to do to live. You need money to live, but also to think beyond a bank account or a savings account and think into more than that, what is going to happen to your money over time, and how do you leave a legacy for your family? My name is Jody Barber, and I am deeply passionate about helping women really break free of shame and guilt around making money. I'm very passionate about multiple streams of income and learning how to utilize your giftings and the ways that you have been uniquely designed and created to bring in streams of income for you and for your family. And also recently have developing a very deep passion for an investment strategy that my husband and I recently just stepped into, and we're learning so much about. It has to do with gold and silver, and I'm going to explain that in just a second, a little bit more. But before that, I kind of wanted to back up and share a little bit of my own journey as an entrepreneur, and specifically as a woman who is leading in this space and who is helping to educate around being wise and also around very healthy money mindsets. My husband and I have been in full-time vocational ministry for about 16 years. Maybe it's been closer to 17 years. I can't remember. I turned 40 this year, and I started when I was 23. So maybe that's about 17 years. And it has been an incredible journey for us. We have had the privilege of being a part of a lot of incredible teams. We have had our lives deeply impacted, and we've been able to impact the lives of others in very significant ways. It's been very meaningful work, and I'm so thankful for it. However, through the process of vocational ministry, for me personally, I'm not saying that this happens to every single person who steps into this space, but for me personally, ministry really did a number to my brain when it came to money, and even having a healthy relationship with money. You see, in order for us to work for the organization that we are a part of, we were completely dependent on the donations of other people. And so we would go raise support, and we had people who gave to our ministry, which then allowed us to make a paycheck and to work. And it was awesome. And the people who gave to us, I mean, they were all in. Many of them felt like family to us. They were deeply invested in Bobby and I and our children and our well-being, and making sure that we could pay our bills so that we could spend the best hours of our day ministering to college students on college campuses. So did that for years. However, in that process, one of the things that I think I really learned in my brain was money is scarce. I shouldn't want a lot of money, or I could never ask someone to help support us beyond us just living within our means. And also, because money was so scarce, the thought of investments or creating wealth or even thinking about the future for our children kind of felt like a pipe dream in a lot of ways. So obviously, I've shared my story on here quite a bit, but in 2016, we pivoted away from the college ministry that we were a part of into church planting. So different area of vocational ministry, same type of financial situation. And my husband stepped into the role as lead pastor of the church that we were starting on the northwest side of Indianapolis. it's been an incredible experience. We were on the same page about that decision, stepping into that. However, because of just different things like his, him just starting out in that role, and because we were a church plant and not stepping into like a big church that had a big budget that could take on his salary, we were actually in a worse financial situation when my husband started as a pastor than we were with the college ministry we were part of. So as you can imagine, this just fed into my whole financial scarcity mentality. Okay. Also, during that time, our youngest daughter was born. We had 3 kids in under 4 years. My health completely tanked, and our finances were a complete and utter train wreck. That is when I started in the entrepreneurial space and looking in, okay, what are my options? Can't go back into the workforce. In fact, what would I even do in the workforce that would make enough money that made sense to put our kids in daycare? So I felt limited in my options. I had to make money from home. It had to make sense to where I could still take care of our kids that were very demanding, and also that would keep food on the table. I mean, essentially, that was the position we were in. So I dove into network marketing, and kind of felt a little bit embarrassed that I had gotten into network marketing. I was like, what is this? Is this a scam, a pyramid scheme? Like, okay, but I see other moms doing this and they're people I trust. So I dove in, and I have now represented 2 companies. The one that I'm with currently, I actually helped launch into the social selling space. And that's another story for another day. It's been an incredible experience, but really what God has done in my mind and in my own mindset around money, my own relationship with money over the course of these 2 experiences, has been to really dig up a lot of the false mindsets I have around money, that it's scarce, that it's hard to get, that, it is something that shouldn't be wanted in large amounts because that's somehow going to corrupt your heart or your life, or allow you to become this power mongering, greedy person, whatever. And there's a whole other list of things. And so for me to step into this area of starting to create multiple streams of income, again, it was like the scarcity mentality. Okay, we need to make ends meet. We need to save some, and we just need to make sure that we keep our heads above water as long as we can. And let's just pray that we can work long enough that our health stays, intact, that our opportunities stay intact long enough for us to get to retirement age. But you know what? Honestly, our kids are just going to have to be on their own, because the thought of like leaving a legacy for our children felt so far off in the future. Okay, so this is what brings me today to talk about the things that we've recently stepped into. Okay, so Bobby and I, my husband and I, have been talking a lot about, okay, I've kind of figured out how to develop multiple streams of income in the online space. Not done creating those streams. Really excited about some things I've got up my sleeve for the future, and we'll be sharing that here as those like come to fruition. But we started talking about, okay, well, what is it? How do we make sure that our money can, one, make money for us, because that's smart, it's wisdom. Even according to scripture, if you're a person of faith, you're figuring out ways to have your money make money for you is the path of wisdom. Also, what does it look like to start transferring our assets? Like, what are our assets, and how do we have our assets actually backed by something that is real? And I don't know if you are aware, but the US dollar is not real. It's a piece of paper. It's actually a fiat currency. So what that means is a fiat currency is not backed by anything of value. We were taken off the gold standard in 1971 by President Nixon. For whatever reason, he decided, out of fear, out of what he thought was wisdom at the time, who knows? I can't crawl inside his brain and figure out this decision-making process. But Richard Nixon took us off the gold standard back in 1971. And ever since 1971, we've been making money, spending money, investing money, and it has nothing substantial that is backing it. It's a fiat currency. Another interesting fact is that fiat currency historically in any culture or society has never survived. It has a 100% failure rate. 100%. So think about that for a minute. Okay, things may not be in a crisis right now, but if you think about the past 2 years, the pandemic, all of the hits that our economy took, the instability now of jobs and employment, the instability of the stock market, and really thinking through, okay, well, how do I know that, these are all circumstances that I cannot control. How do I know that I'm investing my money, that I'm putting my money in places that are more stable than the state of where our economy, our country, our fiat currency is currently? So my husband and I started looking into gold and silver. Okay. Now, I want to share an interesting fact with you. This just happened recently. Now, my disclaimer before I share this is we are actually not involved in the Bitcoin cryptocurrency space, and we barely have anything in the stock market. So, like, we're babies when it comes to the investment world. I'm not giving any financial advice. I'm not giving any investing advice. I'm just simply sharing our story and what we've come to learn. I think it was 2 weekends ago, the stock market took a huge hit. And you could see it across all the trading platforms, whether that's cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. I know like Forex is a really big thing now within that umbrella. The stock market took a massive, massive hit. Gold and silver barely budged. Silver went down by a couple dollars. Gold went down by like $70 or $80. And right now, gold, a 1 ounce of gold is valued at around $1,800 US. You guys, that is phenomenal. One of my dear friends just shared with me also that during the Great Depression, her dad was a child during the Great Depression, and he and his family, he came from a line of ministers in vocational ministry, which obviously hits home for me because that's our current reality. Her dad's family was literally taken care of during the Depression because some people that they lived close to owned land and they had gold and silver in their possession. And they were able to literally pay for things and take care of and keep my friend's family fed during that time. And she says to me all the time, I sometimes think back to that and think, would I even be here if it weren't for that family that took care of my family, took care of my father when he was a child, and made sure that they were fed and that they had a roof over their heads? And their assets during that time when the rest of the world had gone to crap was gold and silver and land, which is really incredible. So as Bobby and I were kind of learning more about this, we're like, okay, obviously diversity, like I'm very passionate about diversifying income and very passionate about diversifying investments. So this is not the only investment strategy that people should make. However, I do think it is an important one to consider. So in gold and silver, we have actually found a company that is incredible. The integrity of the owners, it is co-owned by 4 people instead of just all concentrated one person. They had a heart for helping the average person like us, maybe like you, if you're watching this, be able to invest and move their money into a stable asset of gold and silver at fractional amounts, but yet still have the ability to get it at bulk pricing. Now, here's the significance of this. Okay, when you have, typically when people go to look for gold and silver, there are several questions that come up. One, it's like, okay, am I going to become like Scrooge McDuck, or I don't know, who's the, not Scrooge McDuck, but the one who just like keeps all the money, like the crazy money. Yeah, my kids love those cartoons. Who can we trust? How am I going to get the best value for my money? And how am I going to actually, is this a gold and silver that I can actually hold in my hands, that I can actually have, that is verified, high quality, pure gold and silver? So, so for that, we found a company where they have such a heart and a passion for helping the average person be able to invest in fractional amounts of gold and silver at bulk pricing. Now, if you are someone who's just walking around the world and you're like, well, I kind of want to get my hands on some gold and silver because it seems like a smart investment, you can go do that. You can go find places where you can literally buy gold and silver. However, in order to get it at the bulk pricing, so it's kind of, think about this, Costco memberships. We're Costco membership people. We love Costco. Well, I don't like shopping there. I don't like physically going to the store because it stresses me out, but we love the benefits. So Costco, let's say I'm going to Costco and let's say that I want to buy one toilet paper roll. It's almost like having the ability to go to Costco and grab one roll of toilet paper out of that big, I don't know, 700 pack or whatever it is, and then being able to take that home and still buy it at the same wholesale price as if I had just bought the whole pack of toilet paper. That's exactly what this company has enabled the average person like Bobby and I to be able to do. So when we heard more about this, I mean, obviously we were like, okay, we need to look into this. We need to research this. We need to really figure out, the integrity of this company, the integrity of the leadership. Where is this physical silver and gold that we're going to actually be able to invest in? How do we get it into our hands? How is it insured? What is the security? All those questions we asked ad nauseum and got answers for. And what I want to invite you to, if you're watching this, is we are actually hosting a Zoom call. Oh, and by the way, before I go into this, my husband is like the most skeptical, overly researched human being I think I've ever met in my entire life. The dude looks into his stuff. And so he has done a lot of research into this. And so it just has felt really good for us to be able to proceed in this investment opportunity together as a partnership. And and there's a lot more to it than what I've just described, but he is really excited about this. And also it's been something that we've invited our kids to come and journey with us and to teach them about the importance of having these assets as well. So it's kind of been a family affair, which is really fun. Okay, so we are hosting a Zoom call Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time. If you are not able to make it, I am happy to send you the replay to explain more. But if you are someone who has been curious about or who is looking to invest in gold and silver, and you are curious about what it looks like to get gold and silver in fractional amounts, no minimums, no maximums, at bulk pricing, we would love to give you all the information. So here's what you need to do. Comment below and let me know that you're interested, and I will send you the Zoom information, or just go ahead and send me a direct message and let me know if you would be interested in learning more. We're super excited to share this with our networks. We feel really good about just the path that we're going to not only ensure financial stability for our family in the here and now, but for the many years to come. We're thinking about our kids. We're thinking about our grandchildren. We're thinking about the generations of barbers that we want to exist after we're dead and gone. And gold and silver is going to be around after we are dead and gone, no matter what has happened to the dollar. And for that, I am truly thankful. So anyway, thank you for tuning in. If you would like more information, comment below, send me a message. I will get you that Zoom link. Or if you want the replay, I can send that to you as well. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend.